Hello, entrepreneurs, and welcome to another awesome episode of How You Can Win at Business. And let me see if I can get my banner up there. How You Can Win at Business. My name is Joe DiChiara. I am coming to you live from downtown Flushing. If you don't know me, I am a serial entrepreneur with a New York State CPA license. And what that says is that I am certified to produce certified financial statements for companies in New York State. Now, the sad part about that is I don't do certified audits because, first of all, I don't like doing certified audits. It's pretty boring to me. And I thought accounting was boring to me for a long time, but it's not boring anymore, folks. I love what I do. And so with that CPA license, I wound up getting over 35 years of hands-on experience watching and experiencing all of my clients' ups and downs, and they were mostly downs. And I had my own share of ups and downs. And luckily, there was some downs, more than I would like to have had, but most of it have been ups. And I have decided, well, actually, I think the universe decided for me a long, long time ago that I was going to help entrepreneurs make their business or turn their passion and their dreams into realities with integrity and making it fun and enjoyable and hopefully, in the end, profitable. Because what I've learned in all of that time working with so many people was that millions of business owners never even generate a penny in revenue. No wonder so many businesses go out of business. And I made it my personal mission. I documented in my Napoleon Hill inspired definite chief aim that I was going to teach these principles to millions of entrepreneurs all over the world. And it dawned on me that, the first person I should start with is me. And if you see the table shaking, it's not an earthquake. I'm not in California. I'm in New York. And I'm so excited to be here because I got some really exciting stuff to share with you. Well, as exciting as it can get as far as bookkeeping. Because tonight, what I decided to show you, I'm on a roll with this waveapps program. And I've been actually downgrading people from QuickBooks, including myself, but I only have a handful of clients that are on QuickBooks Online because Wave is just so simple and easy, and it is limited. You can't do everything with it, but it's perfect for probably 90% of the small business owners out there. So if you're using QuickBooks, take a look at waveapps. It's free, and it's a lot easier to learn, and it does what it needs to do, which is count your money. And it does it for free, and it does it efficiently. And tonight, I'm going to show you not how it's so much to downgrade from QuickBooks, because it is pretty easy. If you have a QuickBooks file, you just download a QuickBooks file and you upload it into waveapps, and it goes in there. Now, what might not happen is you're probably not going to get everything organized in the right categories. But that's one of the workarounds that I showed you a couple of last week. And so I'm excited about, the stuff I'm going to show you with Wave tonight. But also, besides, I do have to mention that it's my birthday. I'm 60 years old today. I was born in 1960, and my aunt sent me a text message saying, "Welcome to the 60s." So I thought I was born in the 60s, but I get it now. I got a decade of being in the 60s again. So thank you, Aunt B. So I got a lot of gifts for my birthday. Not so much material gifts. My daughter gave me this great picture thing with, and they were mostly pictures of her dogs. And my girlfriend didn't understand why she gave me pictures of her dogs, but she knows it, and it was a great gift. So thank you, Jackie. I got to spend time on Saturday with my family finally, and we had actually it was 3 birthdays: St. Patty's Day, Easter, and my aunt and uncle's 45th anniversary. We got to celebrate in a 3.5, 4-hour barbecue. And none of us wore masks, and we weren't afraid of, I don't, well, we did sit a little. Anyway, so one of the most unbelievable gifts that I think I may have ever gotten was something that my sister emailed to me, and I want to share it with you. And this is like the second time that I'm watching this. But I was so amazed that she did this for me, and I know she spent a lot of time on it, and she wants to work on it some more. So, this is it. I'm going to put the whole thing on. So I was blown away because on the first try, I don't know if I know a little bit about making those. Some people call it sizzle reels, I guess. They're for speakers. Guys, so I hope she doesn't mind that I used it, but it's too late now, sis. I love you. She's one of my favorite sisters. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you, Sid, sis. I love you. I hope to see you soon. And take care of Mom when she gets there. I know she's leaving in a couple of days to come back to live in New Mexico. And that should be more fun that we can have. So let me get on with what I really want to show you tonight. I'm going to have to share another screen with you because I want to show you what's going on with waveapps. And actually, I'm going to have to share my entire screen with you. So I'm going to just move some of these windows over, including me, so you don't see me. And that you don't need. Sisters, I want to show that to you later. So what I want to show you is how you can upgrade your bookkeeping from a spreadsheet into waveapps. And it dawned on me, and I'm going to share the whole screen with you so you don't have to necessarily see me. It's more important that you see waveapps. And this is just a sample company that I've been working with last week when I got them onto my waveapps role. And like I said, I've been downgrading clients from QuickBooks, the QuickBooks desktop primarily, to waveapps because QuickBooks is more expensive, more complicated. It's hard to set clients up on it and teach them how to use it. And waveapps, I tried it a couple of years ago, and it was okay, but it just didn't get me excited. And I went back to it. I tried it out probably about 8 months ago, and they made so many improvements. There was a little bit of a learning curve, but once I got it down, it's been, I've been converting everybody, not only converting them, but I started focusing now on people that never had any bookkeeping, the people that are still using spreadsheets, and even people that don't do anything until the end of the year and they try to add everything up on a piece of paper. So we want to get away from that. And my whole thing is helping people make their business simple. And this is one of the ways that I can do it. You know, business is tough. It's complicated enough. Bookkeeping is not like doing brain surgery. I can't teach you brain surgery, but there's only a couple of bits of information with every single transaction that it's easy. It's easy to show people, you know, systematically, this is how it works. And it doesn't have to be to the point where you're doing it yourself. You can do it yourself. Okay, if you're good with software, if you know numbers, if you know how to get around an Excel spreadsheet, you can definitely do it yourself, and you can reconcile, and you could have your whole bookkeeping system done by you for free. Okay, most people need a little bit more guidance than just doing the bookkeeping, because if you're serious about your business, you might want to have some kind of affiliation or connection with somebody like me. So I have a program, and I'll tell you what it is at the end of the Facebook Live tonight. And I'll probably keep repeating it because it's a ridiculous price just to help people really get, you know, their business on track. And I'll tell you what it is right now. It's $47 a month, all of your bookkeeping done. I am not going to do it. I have staff to do the bookkeeping, reconcile your accounts, but it entails everything that is required for you to keep track of your business, your profit and loss, your business, you know, your balance sheet, so that at the end of the year, you'll have the information to do your taxes. But more importantly, you will have the information on a you know, in a real-time basis, on a real-time basis, where you could look at your profitability at any given point. I was just on my own financials, and it's up to the minute. I mean, if I got paid today, it would go in. It does a lot of it automatically. It's amazing. So what I'm going to do tonight, and again, I'm putting myself on the line here. I've done this once. It can get to be a little technical, so I hope I don't lose you. You do have to know something about being able to download a CSV file from Excel in order to do this. Now, if you don't know how to do this or that, you can either learn or you can talk to me about, you know, in a free chat. If you go to Time with Joe, I might be able to walk you through it the first time, or you can just, you know, watch this video, you know, 100 times until you get it. But I'm just explaining, you know, what skills you may need to do this sort of thing. So what I did was, and I planned ahead a little. I went into my bank, you know, one of my low activity. It's supposed to be an inactive company. I'm winding it down, and now I go in there, and I'm like, I still have a lot of expenses going through there. I got to wind this down faster because I got to keep putting money in to cover the expenses, and that wasn't the intention. So anyway, that's my problem. I'll fix it. So anyway, what I did was I downloaded the bank information. I downloaded it into a CSV file, which, if you don't know what a CSV file, it's a format that Excel and Google Spreadsheet, Google Sheets recognizes, so that it becomes a file that you can import the transactions from. But there's a couple of nuances that you have to be aware of. So the first thing that I want to show you is, you know, what we call mapping. And it's not, you know, it's not complicated, but I'm going to show you what it is. And all it means is that when we import the information from a source, it's going to come down with that source's column descriptions, the formatting. it may have more, it probably will have a lot more columns than what we need. And this mapping is what we have to do to get those transactions into the right places in waveapps, if that makes any sense. So if you think about a transaction, and I said there's only a couple of pieces of information. So one of them is the date. You know, that every transaction that's recorded in your books, you need a date, you need a description, and you need an amount. So that's 3 out of the 5. The other thing is you need the category, and you need something else. I forgot about what. But for right now, all we need are 3. So what you have to do, and I'm going to show you what I did here, which is, yeah, so I just downloaded some of the transactions, downloaded part of the month, and this is what it looked like pretty much. I changed the account numbers to protect the innocent, but this is it. So from my bank, I have the date. Well, all we need is the date, the description, and the amount. So all I did, so here we have the date. We don't need the bank routing number, the account number, even the transaction type. But actually we do, because I'm going to show you one of the quirky things with waveapps. So what I did was I sorted the sheet based on the transaction type. And I'm going to tell you why that's important in a second. And so what I got was the transactions, the transaction types, okay? And now I got the date, and I got those other columns I don't need. I got the description, I need that. And I got a debit and a credit. Now, what does that mean? Okay, it's important because of the way waveapps works. You see, waveapps has another template that you use for what they call deposits and withdrawals. So it's a little quirky because it's not, they're not an American company, and they're, I think, from Canada. So their terminology and way of doing things is a little bit different. So what we have to do in order to, we need to sort the transactions and figure out which are the deposits and withdrawals, and do that as a second import step. So I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here. In this spreadsheet, what I did was I just sorted all of these transactions by transaction type. And again, you have to know something about Excel, and this is how I did it. You sort by the transaction type over here, and that's what happens. So now what we want to do here, because what we're doing is the first step, which is the 3-column upload. They call it the 3-column upload format. I don't know where they come up with that, but really all they're talking about is disbursements. Okay, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about any payments, any cash that has come out of this one account. Now just remember, this is only a bank account. You could have PayPal transactions, you can have credit card transactions, and for the most part, you know, once you get set up, you don't have to do this anymore. You know, this is really a one-time thing that you have to do just to get your books up to date. So let me clarify that a second. If you're currently using a spreadsheet, you can do, this is a one-time setup to get those important categories into waveapps. Now, you could do it manually by entering all your transactions in waveapps. If you can get it from your bank, you can do it that way. Okay, getting it from your bank is a lot easier. But if you already have a spreadsheet and you already have the information here, this is how you would do it. Okay. And, I understand if it might be, over your head, but I do have to give people, I'm doing this to give the people that can do it a way to do it. And if this is, beyond anything you can do, because there's a couple of different ways to set up your waveapps account. There's a lot of different ways to set up your bookkeeping. So waveapps just has a particular way to get started. And to be honest with you, some of them, they are the easiest, most efficient, effective way to get a set of books up and running that I have ever seen. Programs like QuickBooks and other accounting programs, they've been importing transactions for years. And the truth is that they never really did it that well. If you've ever imported transactions in QuickBooks Online, and I got to say that they're getting better, but they're still not as simple as waveapps. But if you've ever tried to import transactions into QuickBooks Desktop, you know what I'm talking about. I would spend more time fixing transactions that I imported than just to have somebody input it manually. So if I have all of this information and I only need, so I got rid of the deposits and withdrawals, and now I'm left with really just the expenses. But there's a couple of accounts here that I don't need, and I got rid of those over here. So this is the final spreadsheet, although it's not final, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. Oh, we don't need debit and credit. We don't need these either, debit and credit. And it's important that you call it exactly what they call it here in the waveapps instructions, because that's what waveapps is expecting. Now, I'm going to get rid of the two other sheets because I don't need them anymore. And I want to save the important sheet to import. Now, in order to do this, waveapps suggest that we save this as a special type of file. And I'm going to show you what that is. And it's very simple. So right here, it's going to save it to my downloads file. I know where it's going. And this is where you pick what the type of file. So they want, now you could try with the CSV, comma delimited, which is like a standard format. But what they suggest is the CSV UTF-8. Now, don't ask me why. It has to do with programming. So I just follow the program. So this file is called transactions, and that's it. You saved it. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to close this because we already looked at that. Now, what I want to show you to prove to you that there's nothing in here, I just deleted all of the transactions. And I haven't done this with this file yet, so I really have no idea. So you could see that there's actually nothing in here, no transactions at all. So what we're going to do is, and you can see here, you can add manually. I don't recommend that. Connect your bank. That's easier. And this is if, like I said, if you already have a CSV or an Excel file, that's what we want. So this just gives it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the file, and I know that the one I just saved is over here. Transactions. Keep track of your files, it's important. You don't want to import the wrong file. And now it's asking me what bank account am I transferring, because it's got to go through one of the accounts. And now we're going to upload it. And let's see what happens. Okay, so now we have to verify. They want to make sure that the columns are what they're supposed to be. So that's good. The date is the date column. The amount is, that's the right column. And the description. And now we want to upload it. Potential duplicate transactions. Okay, I'll deal with that after. But we want them to import. And voila. We got all of those transactions in here. And now it's just a matter of categorizing. Now, a few nights ago, now this may look like a lot of work, but a few nights ago, I showed you that there's shortcuts on how you can categorize things. For instance, if I got a PayPal instant transfer, I can do a search on this. And there's 3 of them. And what I want to do is I'm going to pick what category they're going to go to. And now these are all going to go to, let's just say, dues and subscriptions for now. Because this isn't a lesson on categorizing, this is just a lesson on pulling the transactions in. You know, one of the hardest parts of accounting is getting all of the transactions in there. You know, once the transactions are in the system, now we can start reconciling. Now we can start, you know, choosing categories. Now we could start, you know, putting together a financial report. And I'll show you what we just did here. So all of a sudden, and you know, that shows 4,500 as a balance, but that's just the net balance from all of those transactions that we just imported. Now, there's another side to this, which I mentioned, which is the withdrawals and deposits. So, you know, what's strange about this, and this is, okay, so this is an error that I would have to fix. Somehow, you know, I got the numbers mixed up, so these should be credits. In other words, it's adding it like their deposits. So that's a programming problem. That's something that I did wrong when I set it up. So what else did I want to show you? Oh, the other thing that we import, which are the deposits and withdrawals. So what I did was I took that spreadsheet and I took what I cut out of the first spreadsheet and I just put it here, and now I'm going to save it the same way. And I'm going to call this test WD deposits and withdrawal. So I'm going to put it in the same place, which is downloads. Now I'll tell you the truth, I have a feeling that these are going to come in backwards as well, but there is a solution to that. I will fix it, but just to get this. So now we have the test. Oh, wait a second. I didn't save it as, I want to be consistent here. I lost it. So this is a Google Doc with the same info. So I'm just going to open this one and do it again. Okay, so here it is in the downloads. We don't want an Excel spreadsheet. We want this. CSV UTF. Save. Save. And I do have a film that's going to come out backwards, but see that's what I mean by putting myself on the line, folks. I'm not afraid to test this stuff out. No, those aren't the deposits. These are the deposits. That is the description. And so now we're gonna. So you see how this says withdrawal 800, and so I'm feeling it's a withdrawal, but I think it might show up as a deposit, which means that really you just got to switch the things around. Like I said, it's really a programming mistake on my part. So here are, let's just check this out. Okay, so we got an 800. Let me just make sure that these, I want to make sure that these transactions came through. So it looks like they were, oh, they went back. Okay, so that went back to 520. 526 was 300, 527 was 1,000. And there we have. So now, so these are our loan shareholders. So it looks like they came in the right place. So if it's a, like I said, I've been transferring money into this account to cover the expenses. But anything that came in is really a loan. And I could do the quick online transfer and put them to loans. I could do the same thing with this. And so let's see what happens if I specify this to bank charges. So this is another quirky thing with waveapps. If you get a refund of a deposit, it's a refund for an expense. So this would be, and I think that it did come in backwards. So, so anyway, that's, obviously it didn't come out exactly the way I wanted it to. But what I'm trying to show you, because this is actually, I never did the Excel import, probably wouldn't actually even use it a lot. My purpose in showing this to you is the flexibility that you have with waveapps. And like I said, I never did this before. I am, an advanced computer user. I would be able to figure out exactly how to get this fixed, and I don't expect anybody out there, unless you're a programmer, to be spending time doing it. That would be counterproductive. But this is Wave apps, just like all the other technologies out there, is really a moving target right now. You got to pay attention. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about, because as I was putting together the info to show you how to import a spreadsheet, I came across some other new features that Wave has. For instance, and I just can't, and every time I come on here, there is a new feature. They're adding stuff like almost on a daily basis. They came up with this, and I haven't had a chance to look at this yet, something called a wave bank. So apparently, and I don't know about you, but I have a bunch of different accounts. If I don't have enough money in one account, they hit me with bank fees. So I've been looking for a bank where I'm tired of paying $25 a month to have them, hold my money. And TD Bank, if you've seen my video, I have 3 bank accounts with TD Bank, and they're all under $1,000 because I'm switching banks. And I'm looking at it, I said, I try to make sure that 2 of them have 1,000, but it's difficult. But if Wave apps, I'm like, they are doing, mark my words here, folks, they are doing what QuickBooks did 20 years ago. They are making themselves a no-brainer. What QuickBooks did 20 years ago, however long it was, I've been using QuickBooks before it was even QuickBooks. It was called Parsons Technology. And it was something called, I think it was called Money Counts. And Intuit had already developed Quicken. And what they wanted was a business version of Quicken. I never used Quicken, never liked it. It just was too cumbersome. It did too many things. And that's exactly what they turned Parsons Technology into. Because Money Counts was actually a nice little simple program. And QuickBooks, what Intuit did was they came in and they practically gave QuickBooks away. They let people steal it, pirate it, so that everybody was using it. It was so cheap and easy to get started. And it was almost like they caused a bookkeeping pandemic, because it ripped industries apart. It changed accounting, changed bookkeeping. It ruined it. Okay, I mean, QuickBooks. I decided a long time ago that I couldn't fight QuickBooks, so I've used QuickBooks a lot in my program, in my practice. I've taught probably thousands of people how to use QuickBooks. Not because I love QuickBooks, because that's what everybody wanted. And I was always adamant about the fact that QuickBooks does too many things, tries to do too many things. It's not a bookkeeping program. And I got a feeling that Wave Apps has similar, what do they call it, expectations of similar plans, because I could see that they're rolling out a lot of different products and services. And for free, and it's free now. This is the business model with these software companies. But it's free now. It'll be free for as long as we can go. And I'll continue to use it as long as it's, and I don't use it just because it's free. I'm using it because it works. So, you know, like I said, in just about every other, I hope, Facebook Live that I've done is, you know, that's my story. I'm sticking with it. If you want to book a free chat with me to talk about waveapps or anything about your business, you can book it by going to timewithjoe.com. Just as a warning, you know, my just book the time. If you have a problem, you can email me at joe@bedrockbusinessbuilders.com. And I see it looks like Dr. Elnora Webb was watching. And I apologize if you've been with me live. If you give me a hashtag live, you'll get notifications on any questions on the thread. If you have a question for me, you know, post it in the comments and I will get back to you. There's more to come with this waveapps thing because I'm just getting started. It looks like there's a lot more features coming. I've switched all of my books over to waveapps, so I'm using it. And you know, if you want to talk about, you know, a special setup fee, I got a special program for new business owners. And if you're a client of mine, you already know because I've already put you on waveapps. And you know, I believe. And if you are a client of mine, you know, maybe we should book a chat and go through some of the new features and see, you know, what you might be able to incorporate in your business because it's making my business a lot easier. So that's my story. I'm sticking with it. Joe DeChara, go to timewithjoe.com. And before I forget, go to mastermindwithjoedechara.com. There's my banner. There it is, mastermindwithjoedechara.com. And I would like to end with the special feature here that came from my sister for my birthday. So thanks, sis, and we're going to play it again if I can find it. There we go. All right. Good night, folks. I will see you tomorrow, 8 p.m. Thank you. Over and out.